As usual, let's start things off by explaining the coin rejection, which is more like a coin sorter, because any coins that are too small, which are all coins but €2 coins, fall into this hole because they can't ride along these two gray rails. Coins that are rejected range from 1 euro cent all the way up to €1. However, the €2 coin is a little bit different because it actually stays up on these rails. See? And not only that, but it falls down this ramp into the mechanism. To recap, we have our coin rejection, which pretty much means that small coins fall into a hole, and the big €2 coin rides along gray ramps into the mechanism. Now it's time to show you the electronic mechanism. As I explained, this coin falls down a series of ramps. It's going to fall down this one, and at the bottom we have a light sensor, and the coin sets off the light sensor, which passes a message to this intelligence brick, which also passes a message to this motor, which moves this forward and this backwards. Sauce will be in here, nuggets will be here. Awesome, so now that you understand how the machine works, we're actually going to put in our foods and do a proper demonstration of the machine. So coin rejection, passes coin rejection. We've got our sweet and sour sauce here, or whatever sauce. And we've got our chicken McNuggets at the bottom. So our coins fall into the tray, and we have these gears. Now for any normal customer, this will be out, so they won't be able to pull this. But when we put in our axle and rotate, there's a system of gears which pushes this gear rack and moves out the tray so you can get your money, put it back in, remove the axle. As always, let's start off with the coin rejection. So the coin needs to stay up on this peach rail and on these several little Lego pieces to pass into the mechanism. Now if it doesn't, it falls down into the coin rejection hole and the customer gets their coin back. Pretty cool system. And it rejects all coins all the way up to the value of a €1. However, if we take a €2 coin, it's accepted because it passes along the peach rail and these little Lego pieces on the right side and passes into the mechanism. Now that we know that only €2 coins can pass over the coin rejection and into the mechanism, I want you to listen to what happens. Pretty much, a coin sets off a light sensor, which follows through to the next instruction on the program. As you can see, I've taken off a lot of pieces just so you can see the mechanism better. So we're going to take our bowl, put it in here, you can see it over here, and then what happens with the machine is you're going to press the button, but what happens there is that this starts moving this gear rack, so this moves forward and backwards, or right and left. Now, the moment we've all been waiting for, the milk mechanism. How does the milk not spill, you ask? With this mechanism, focus on this motor and this gray piece. Yep, that's pretty much it. The motor lifts up, and in 15 seconds it will drop down. This next part, I want you to think of it like a sink. So we've got this little water bottle, we filled it up with milk, cut out a hole in the cap, and then put on this gear, the axle, and then a Lego piece. So we're going to flip it upside down, and only a little bit dribbles out when you pour it upside down. In the machine, the motor that was moving up that gray piece lifts this up, and when we lift this up, it's sort of like a kitchen sink or a bathroom sink, so it unclogs it once you pull it up, and when it drops back down, nothing comes out. That's exactly what happens with the cereal machine. Finally, let's bring everything together. And just like that, for €2, and we did get a milk spill, you get Cheerios. First thing first, let's start off with the coin rejection mechanism. I use this one a lot. Simply put, if the coin does not stay up on these two gray rails, it falls down into the hole below. Let me demonstrate this with small coins, starting with pennies and going up until dimes. And our rejected coins fell to the bottom. However, when we have big coins that stay up on these gray rails, you guessed it, like quarters, they pass into the machine's electronic mechanism. As you might have assumed from this red light, the machine is on and ready for service. The way the Mindstorms are programmed, this light sensor is waiting for something to pass in front of it for this motor to move forwards and backwards, dispensing your Doritos. As I mentioned with coin rejection, pennies, nickels, and dimes, fall down. Meanwhile, quarters stay up on these gray rails and pass over, and they pass past the light sensor, which moves this gear, moving the gear rack, which moves this special part back and forth. Did you get that? If not, I'll demonstrate it one more time, but with a box of Doritos. Currently, the light sensor isn't sensing anything new besides the machine's initial mechanics until we pop in our 25 cents, which sets it off. And just like that, the customer gets their Doritos. So my newest candy machine uses Kinder Surprise eggs. Now for those of you who are American viewers, you're probably wondering what the heck this is. Well, all it is a milk chocolate egg with a toy inside. Now let me unbox this so you can see. So here I am taking off the wrapping, and then along this milky lining, or we could just break it in half the savage way. It's a race car and we can build it, but we're not going to do that for now. Enjoy the rest of the video. So here's a brief 360 view of the machine. As you can tell, the white and orange correlate with the Kinder Egg design, and then the black is just a little something to separate them. Now this machine runs on American coins, however, pennies, nickels, and dimes are all rejected. So all of these coins are returned to the customer, and we can only use quarters. However, when you put in one, you notice it's not rejected. However, there still is no Kinder Egg. Well, that's because this photo shows that we need 3 quarters or 75 cents. So let's put in a second one. Still doesn't work. Put in the third one, and voila, we've got our first Kinder Egg. Now let's try it one more time. Take our first quarter, nothing. Second, still nothing. However, we take the third. Hopefully you don't drop it. But then you'll get your last or second Kinder Surprise egg. So to reload the machine, we're going to turn it to the back. And here you will notice that there's a hole. Well, what you're going to do with that is put in the axle and twist it clockwise. Pull it out, and then here we only have 1 coin. But if we jump it out, we're going to see the remaining 5. To reload the machine, simply take off the top. Here you see a very ugly interior, but that's okay because customers won't see that. We're going to place in our Kinder Eggs like so. And then all we need to do is put on the top, and it's back to new. So first of all, there's no need to be worried about how complex this stuff over here looks. I just want you to focus on this for now. So pretty much what happens here is that the coin slides down here, and then it falls either here, over here by the peach part, or into the hole. Now if we take a penny, it's too small so it falls into that hole. The same with nickels and dimes. And if we take a quarter, it's going to fall over here to the platform, which is beneath this peach part. So to see the mechanism better, we're going to move this coin rejection piece away and turn this about 90 degrees. Alright, so what's here is pretty much a seesaw mechanism. This is a pretty simple mechanism. Now what happens with this is that when there's enough weight on this side, it's going to lift up this side. Think of a seesaw that you would see at a playground. That was a tongue twister. Anyways, so that pretty much happens when we have 3 quarters on this side. It lifts up this bar, which dispenses an egg. So 2, and then 3. And then what happens from here is that the coins fall down into the coin bank. This lifts up and almost refreshes. let's start off at level 1 of the machine, which is the coin rejection. It's pretty simple. When you put in pennies, they're just a little bit too big to fit in because they hit this gray piece and this red ramp. Same with nickels and quarters. They're all just a little bit too big to be accepted. However, when you put in dimes, they are barely accepted. They just pass by this gray piece and this red ramp, and if we lift up this piece, you can see that it falls down a series of ramps into a hole down here. Now we're at level 2 of the mechanism. Now what happened is that when we put in the dime, it fell through a series of ramps falling right here, which is a very important spot for the coin to be, but I'd like to remove it first. And I also removed a piece that was right here so I can show what happens with the machine when it's free. So if this was free, it would just be a dispenser, meaning you push it back and then a pez can fall in because this has been moved to a spot appropriate. And then when you pull it forward, it's dispensed to the customer. I'm gonna save that for a snack later. And you know, it's just simple back and forth, back and forth. However, if we put that in its original spot and put the blue piece back on, we have the peach peg and we have this glue stud that's popping out a little bit more than most of the other ones. And when we try pushing this, these are just hitting each other. And that means that this can't move. Pretty sad story, right? However, our dime fixes the whole situation. It lifts up this bar. Now you can see this is above the blue piece, which means we can push it. Now this is above the bar and it's moved. The dime fell down because there's a hole beneath it, which drops it into the coin bank. We take our pez because it falls right there. We can pull forward and it's dispensed to the customer.
Took my life and gave it back. It's yours to leave, but it won't keep me. Stay with me.
Welcome back to Astonishing Studios. Today we reveal how to build mini working vending machines. To operate, a customer inserts a coin into the coin slot and pulls out this dark gray bar to reveal either a Kit Kat Mini, a Snickers Bite, or a Twix Bite. The mechanism is universal for all three, and you can also easily alternate this design by pulling off the front panel and the top banner and replacing it with either the Twix or the Snickers one. Feel free to test this out with other local candies that you have, but we discovered that these three international brands and their mini chocolates work perfectly with the creation. Before we get any further into the video, make sure to purchase a LEGO Classic brick box for many of the pieces used in this creation, or check out the description for other methods to acquire parts used in this machine, and let's then proceed to the operation and then reveal the tutorial. Let's start by building the Kit Kat design, so I will build it in red pieces. If you're doing the Twix machine, make sure any red piece I put down, you put down in yellow, or Snickers, make sure your pieces are blue. So here we've started with 2 of this element. It's a 1x6 plate, and on top we have 4 1x1 by 2/3 slopes, all in the center. Make sure they face opposite directions and put them to the side for a moment. Then you're going to build this. It's a 2x3 plate topped with 4 2x1 curves. You're going to build 2 more of that. Make sure the 2x3 plates are black, although it doesn't really matter. I just did it to vary up the color, and unite them all together with a 1x6 plate. Now you can connect all 3 together in the bottom corner of this curved piece. And now put a 2x1 curve on either side of the black plate. Now take a 1x3 plate and top it with a 1x1 tile and click it on over here. Now take a 1x6 brick and top it with a 1x1 plate and put it on this side. And then on the other side we're going to do something a little bit different. Take a 1x6 plate and then put on a 1x2 brick on the bottom of that. Click that on over here. Let's move this aside. Now we have a 2x3 plate topped with a 1x2 tile, and on each of these studded areas you are going to put on a 2x1 curve, so that means 4. Now it's time for the decals. There's a link in the description for all 3 machines' decals, so I printed out the ones for the Kit Kat. Put the Kit Kat top banner here, center it, and then we can move this aside and then start putting on this decal. Make sure to cut out this area so we can have the candy actually come out. Whatever we build from here will be the exact same for the Kit Kat, Twix, and Snickers machines. Let's bring the previous piece back into play. Now we're going to put the decals onto these 2 pieces. Down in the description I have a link to download all 3 decals, or all 3 types of decals for all 3 machines, so Snickers, Twix, Kit Kat. I printed the Kit Kat. We're going to put the first sticker on this small piece, and then the larger sticker on this larger piece. It's hard to get it on. I'm going to do a quick and less clean job, so it's going to be a little bit sloppy. Yeah, that should suffice for now. And then we're going to move these aside, and every single piece we build from here is going to be the exact same for each candy. Here we've started with 4 pieces, a 2x3 plate, a 1x6 plate with a 1x1 plate on top, and a 4x6 plate. Now let's put on a 1x6 plate topped with a 6x1 curve and use it to unite all the pieces together. And then we're going to build something similar, but we're going to take a 2x6 plate to connect 2 6x1 curves together, and then we're going to put it right next to that 1x6 curve. Then on this 1x1 plate, take this 1x1 brick with a hole on the side, or a stud on the side, put it over here, build this piece. It's a 1x2 plate, a 1x3 plate, and connect them together with a 1x2 tile and 2 2x2 tiles. Put that over here. Build this 3-piece element. It's a 2x2 plate, on top of it a 2x2 brick, and on top of that a 2x2 plate. Put that over here. Put down 2 2x2 corner plates, and on top of those plates put on a 2x2 tile or a 2x2 plate and a 1x2 plate. Now you need a 2x2 brick and top it in one corner with a 1x1 by 2/3 slope. Put that over here. Then take a 1x1 brick with a stud on the side. Put that here. On top of that put on a 1x2 tile, and then on that side stud you're going to put in a 1x1 black brick. Now cover the studs of each 6x1 curve with a 2x1 slope with a 2/3 cutout. And on the back over here, we're going to put on a 1x3 black plate. Let's rotate this around, and we're actually going to build layers of bricks on this studded area. So that's 4 pieces for the first layer. And let's build another layer on top. The final layer is 3 pieces, a 1x3 brick, a 2x4 brick, and then a 1x4 brick. Now put on 3 tiles. Let's build 2 layers of black bricks. Let's move this aside and start building the candy dispensing area. The easiest way to demonstrate how to build this is to build a bunch of 2-piece portions and then combine them all together. So here I've started with a 1x3 plate, and on top of that I put on a 1x4 brick. Then take another 1x3 plate and then put on a 1x3 brick on top of it, offset by 1. Connect these 2 elements. Now take a 1x2 plate, top it with a 1x1 brick with a side stud. Connect this. take 2 round 1x1 dark gray plates and connect them to the side stud. To those round 1x1 plates, you're going to put on a round 1x1 brick and then a 1x1 by 2/3 slope. Connect it like this. And note that this slope is facing inwards to this black area. Now take a 1x3 plate and top it with a 2x1 slope. And then we're actually going to move this into shot actually. And then take a 1x3 tile, connect it to this area, and then connect that to the 1x1 brick with the side stud and then this other black piece. Now let's rotate this around and connect this 1x4 brick and this 1x3 brick with a 1x2 tile. Now let's move this aside. Now bring the old part back into shot and just wiggle in the dispenser right over here. Put on a 1x6 plate. Let's get that in focus. Topped with a 1x1 by 2/3 slope and wiggle it over here. So it should be like this. Now take a 1x1 black plate right over here. Top it with a 1x1 brick with a central hole and then top that with a 1x1 black plate again. Then you're going to take one of these double connectors. One side is an axle, the other side is a round pin. And then on the axle side, you're going to put in a half long bushing. Click it over here, put that down for a second. Build this. It's a 4 stud long Technic half beam with something sticking out. The specific name is on the screen now. And we have put in a 2 stud long red axle with 1 stud facing through one side, half a stud of axle facing through the other. Let's hold it like this, and then let's take another one of those blue round / axle connectors and put the axle end through here. So now we have this. Let's bring over that earlier piece, flip it around, and you're going to assemble it just like so. Now let's rotate this and put it over here onto the 1x6 plate. We're going to secure it in better in a little bit. Now take another 1x1 brick with the side stud and top it with a 1x2 brick and click it on over here on top. And as you can see, I slightly messed up. I moved this piece out, make sure that stays in. Now take a 2x4 plate and on the side put on a 1x2 tile, and you're going to clip this on to the lower corner stud of the plate. Now let's build a layer of bricks and I'll guide you through so it's not too confusing. We're going to have a 1x2 brick and on top of that put on a 1x1 by 2/3 slope. Place it on top over here. Rotate this around a little bit. Put on a 1x4 brick. Now a 2x6. A 1x1. That mechanism Technic piece. Now we're going to take our 1x3 brick over here and put it on right on top. Therefore, there should be a 1 stud area of no brick. Now let's rotate this to this side, and we're going to build a 1x7 brick with a 1x4 and a 1x3. Now rotate it again. Take a 1x2 plate and top it with 2 1x3 plates. Put it over here. Now put on a 1x3 and a 1x2. Now put on a 2x4 brick, a 1x2 brick, a 1x4 brick, and another 1x2 brick. Now it's time to build our last final full brick layer. Start with a 1x4, then a 1x2, 2x6. On the inside over here, we're going to put on a 1x2 brick, then a 1x4 brick, then another 1x4 and a 1x3. On the border, let's put on a layer of plates. Now let's put on a 1x1 plate and a 1x6 plate. And on these 2 areas, put on 2 1x6 tiles. In this back area, we are going to start off with, first of all, a 1x3 plate. And on the top, put on 3 1x2 or 2x1 curves. Put the first one here, and we're going to similarly take a 1x4 plate and top it with 4 2x1 curves. As we rotate this around, we're going to build another part. You're going to put on a 4x6 plate and then a 1x4 plate. And on each of these outside studs, you probably guessed it, we're going to put on a 2x1 curve, so that means we need 7 more curves. Now on this studded area over here, we're going to put on some tiles. Let's start off with a 2x2, a 1x6, and then 2 1x2s. Now we have 7 studs uncovered. Of that, there's a 2x3 area, and over there we're going to first of all take a 1x2 brick with a swiveling top, and then on the bottom put on 2 round 1x1 plates and click that on over here. I usually find it best to actually remove the top and then click that on. And while this is off, let's take our top banner that we built at the beginning of the video, click it on over here, rotate it around, and now that looks really cool. So let's click it on top. Had a small piece slide out, that dark gray bar, let's put that back on. Now, let's actually put on a sticker that we didn't put on earlier. You might have noticed that there's a dial pad in the printout for decals. Put that on over here. It's not actually functional, it just gives it that vending machine ambiance, which is very cool. Now take this big part with a big decal on it and slide it on over here. Make sure you click it on this side, the right side, and then the left side a little bit, and just make sure it clicks on a little bit at the top as well. As you can tell from the hole over here, we need to build the coin bank. So we have the 2x3 plate topped with a 1x2 brick, and then we are going to take a 2x2 plate topped with a 1x4 brick. Click these two parts together. Now take a 1x2 brick, a 1x3 brick, and top it with a 1x4 tile. Click that over here, rotate this around. Then we need a 1x1 brick topped with a 1x2 plate. Click that on over here, and then we are going to slide in the coin bank. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us at astonishingstudios@gmail.com. We actually respond to our fans, unlike most YouTubers, but please don't reach out to us in the comments. It's very hard to navigate through those. Once again, if you did not build this machine, consider buying a LEGO Classic Brick Box. The link to that is in the description, and also look in the description for more methods on how to acquire pieces used in this machine. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you with a future video.